All right, in this video, we are going to understand something incredibly useful in Python, the LRU cache decorator. In today's video, we're going to understand how Python can suddenly become extremely slow when we write recursive code, and then how one tiny decorator can completely fix it. So let's start with a very common example, computing the Fibonacci series. Everyone who touches recursion eventually writes a Fibonacci function, so let's start by writing a simple function to calculate the Fibonacci numbers. I'm going to create a function called fib, and it will take a number n as a parameter. Inside this function, we will handle the two simplest base cases. If n is 0, we'll return 0, and if n is 1, we will return 1. For anything larger than that, we return the sum of the previous two Fibonacci numbers, so we will recursively return Fibonacci n minus 1 plus Fibonacci n minus 2. So right now, this function looks extremely clean. It feels correct, and this is exactly how most people write Fibonacci when they learn recursion for the first time. Now let's actually use it. So at first, I'm going to call Fibonacci of 10 and print the result. So now, as we run the program, you can see it runs almost instantly, and that even feels normal. So now let's push it. Let's try Fibonacci of 40, just to see what happens when the input starts getting bigger. And also, this time, we'll be going to measure the execution time. So we'll quickly import the time module, and then we will capture the time before calling the function, and then capture the time again after the function finishes. And then we will subtract the two so that we know exactly how long it took. And here, the moment I run the program, suddenly Python is struggling. Nothing prints. It feels like the program is stuck. And you can see it takes a lot of time just to compute the Fibonacci number for 40. Now imagine what would happen if we tried this with 500. And this is where most people get confused, because the code looks small and innocent, but under the hood, it is doing a ridiculous amount of repeated work. To calculate the Fibonacci of 40, it needs the Fibonacci of 39 and the Fibonacci of 38. But to compute the Fibonacci of 39, it again needs the Fibonacci of 38 and the Fibonacci of 37. And the Fibonacci of 38 gets recalculated again and again and again, thousands of times. And that is why the program becomes super slow. So how do we fix it? This is where decorators actually become useful. Python gives us a ready-made decorator called LRU cache from the functools module. So first, we will import the LRU cache from the functools module. And now, all we have to do is add the @LRU cache above the Fibonacci function and set the max size to none. That's it. Nothing else changes. We keep the exact same recursive function. We don't rewrite anything. We just wrap it with a decorator. So now what it does is incredibly simple. It tells Python that if a number is already calculated, then don't solve it again. Just remember the previous calculation and use it when needed. So instead of calculating Fibonacci of the same number again and again, Python simply saves the result once and reuses it when needed. Now let's run the program one more time. In fact, this time we will replace Fibonacci of 40 with Fibonacci of 500. And the moment we run it, Python instantly prints the answer. No lag, no freezing, just instant. And the timing we print now goes from slow to almost 0 seconds. One line, one decorator, and the entire program behaves like a completely different machine. So next time, before you think Python is slow, check whether you're calculating the same thing again and again. Sometimes performance is not about better algorithms, it's simply about remembering.